taking forever. And I remember being a dock clerk in the warehouse, um, you know, helping the drivers get loaded and having like 50 trucks in the yard. Now I'm a part of those 50 trucks in the yard. There's just so many trucks. We're all waiting to get our trucks loaded, and I'm bored, so I decided to record some content. So I didn't get to do my video last night, so I'm gonna do it now. Okay, so I got my notes and what I want to talk about. I had to write it down because I have mommy brain. So what I learned my first week of trucking is like not to be afraid to ask for help. Like no matter what it is, like there was a moment where we had to ask for help because of the locking jaw on the truck was like being weird or whatever. So I was able to witness, you know, just asking for help is good. And if I was by myself, I would have had to have help backing up into this dock. It was a little awkward, and it's been since February since I like actually backed in or did my test, so I'm a little bit rusty. But if I was by myself, I would have asked for help if I needed it. So just not being afraid to ask is good, and it's okay because people will help you. Two, I want to talk about when we was in New Jersey. We was leaving the warehouse after we got our truck loaded. We wanted to stop and grab something to eat, and so I had to like park across the street so that, you know, because there wasn't no parking. For those of you who have been to New Jersey, especially in a 53-foot truck or trailer, you would know that the roads are very, very narrow, right? I parked, and then when it's time to leave the restaurant, I start to head out, and I'm like going around the curve, and next thing I know, it's a residential neighborhood, and there's cars on both sides of the road. It was looking scary, and this big old truck coming down the street, and it was loud, and I felt like the truck was just shaking the whole neighborhood, you know. So finally we come to the dead end. There's no way out, and I'm like, oh crap. Looking at my trainer, I'm like, bro, what are we doing? What are we about to do? Like, he's like, I don't know, you're gonna have to figure it out. I'm like, wow. So I had to get out and go to the neighbors' house, to the houses, the owners of the cars, and tell them like, yo, I didn't know that I wasn't gonna be able to get out of here. Can you like move your car? You know, but thankfully the people were really nice. They wasn't mean. They didn't come out like, you stupid truck driver, like why are you coming over here driving down the street with this big old truck, blah blah blah. Like I'm just so thankful that they was not like mean, you know. So they moved their cars, and then I tried to back out. I couldn't do it, so my trainer hopped in, and boom 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 boom, he was able to get the truck out. And it was so funny because all the neighbors came outside. Like it was like 10 people that came out, and then when we got the truck out, they was all like excited, like yeah, woo, like you did that. It was so funny. So yeah, when I have to go back to New Jersey, I will be more like a little bit more experienced when it comes to where to park and where not to park. Definitely on that. And then oh yeah, before we headed out of Colorado, we had to drive through the mountains, and I had to drive like first day I was in that truck, I was behind the wheel, and going through the mountains, it wasn't bad. But when I was going down the hills, he didn't tell me about the engine brake. You know, that you use the engine brake, you're gonna push it down 1, 2, or 3 times to slow your truck down when you're going down those hills. I didn't know that, you know, so I start pumping on the brakes, brake. And next thing I know, I look back, and the back of the tires are smoking like bad. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna smoke these brakes out. We're gonna lose our brakes, and we gonna be flying and going up that on-ramp, okay? So I pulled over, I got off the highway, pulled off, and they were smoking really bad. And yeah, make sure. So now I know to use my engine brakes. So I feel a lot better if I come across, or when I come across that situation again, is to use the engine brakes. Yeah, that is pretty much my feedback for my first week of training in trucking. And then I have some questions for my experienced drivers. If you would like to tell me what is one mistake you made early on in your trucking career that you would tell a new driver to avoid? So for my experienced drivers, what is one or two things you would like to share with the new driver, like to avoid or to help my journey a lot better, go a lot smoother? And then what's the best company or route you've had and why? And then how did you get your first good local or dedicated position? Those are just some questions that I have. So thank you so much for tuning in. As soon as I get my truck loaded from Wyoming, we are going to be heading to Nevada. And then from Nevada, we're going to go pick up another load in New Mexico. I've never been to New Mexico, so this should be interesting. I heard there's a really good food spot out there, because I follow what's that dude's name on YouTube? Mark Waynes. Yeah, Mark Waynes. He stopped by this really awesome food place in New Mexico. Things like Mexican food. I heard New Mexico just got good Mexican food all around, so I'm really excited to go and check it out. And then, yeah. Where did you say after we go to New Mexico? After we pick up the load from New Mexico, where do we take? Oh no, you said we pick up load in Nevada and then take it to New Mexico. Okay, never mind. Yeah, never mind. We're picking up the load in Nevada and then dropping it off in New Mexico. So, yeah.